Ladies and gentlemen, SideStrafe back with Elite Dangerous. And funny enough, today's video is probably less about Elite Dangerous and more so about the fact that I'm playing it with a TrackIR 5. Just got one, and let me just say, let me get this out of the way right now. If you're looking for the finalized opinion, if you're into flight simulators that support the device, go buy one right now. If you spend most of your time playing flight sims or games that allow you to look around with your head, then get a TrackIR right now. It's great. It's amazing. It will spoil you if a game doesn't support it. You'll miss it. One example of this currently is the fact that Elite Dangerous, as you can see, supports it beautifully. Look at these natural head movements as I'm able to make contact with these hostile targets here. It is just absolutely exquisite. Sadly, Star Citizen, the other game that I'm playing quite a bit lately, does not currently support it, at least not natively. It did prior to version 2.0, but I think that was because Natural Point, the developer of the TrackIR, had sort of jerry-rigged support, and then 2.0 broke it. This is something that RSI has to do on their own. It is something that they listed as a backer goal, which I think they hit a long time ago, but obviously they have other things to prioritize. The game needs a lot of work, and I'm guessing TrackIR is on the top of their to-do list. So that's disappointing because that game would definitely make fantastic use of this device. But anyways, as you can see, it works fantastically well in Elite Dangerous. Beyond that, I know it'll work fine in Arma 3, which is another title I have. It actually does work in MechWarrior Online, but I don't find it as useful in that title. It's just that you're playing a ground combat mech title with torso twisting, and I found that every time I tried to use it, it just felt like it was pointless. There really wasn't too much reason to look left and right or up and down unless it was just for fun, to kind of give you more of a feel of being in the cockpit. When you're in combat, you're usually too busy focusing on everything in front of you, considering you've got torso twist. So it's usable. It actually works really well, minus maybe looking down towards your control panel. It seems to kind of twitch out for some reason. I don't know. That could be a setting I need to mess with. But yeah, I just didn't see too much reason for it in that one. But here in Elite, any game where you have a fixed cockpit, non-torso twisting, it's an invaluable tool, as you can see here. It just, I don't know, even with this video, as I'm watching this in my editor, discussing it, you can see how much more natural everything looks and feels. You know, crashing into asteroids is a lot more immersive as well. And really, that's the only problem that I would warn you of, is that sometimes you're looking for reasons or excuses to use the TrackIR motion. You're wanting to look around all the time to the point where you're not necessarily paying attention to the position of your ship, and so therefore you might run into something. Probably less of a problem in a modern day or World War II simulation where there isn't asteroids, but in space games you want to look out for that. Trust your eyes more than your radar, but your radar's there. Don't forget about it, and just kind of try to maintain situational awareness, and don't always feel like you have to use the TrackIR or that you have to always look around. But I can't help it. It's fun. It's just being able to kind of tilt your head just a little bit and have an exaggerated movement to look up without bypassing the borders of your display. It's a fantastic device. And speaking more on that, for those of you that aren't aware of this device or that are curious about it, the head movements, if you want them to be, as I said, are exaggerated. So you're not looking outside of your monitor. You're staying within it. You're keeping your eyes on your display, but you're telling the software that you download to exaggerate the movement. So looking an inch to the right could provide you with several inches of actual movement if you want it to be that way. And again, it's really up to you. It's just on how you tweak your software. Again, there are different presets. and then you can create your own and then assign them for each game that supports the device. And so for those of you that have large displays and maybe even the new ultra-wide 21:9 aspect ratio curved displays, or maybe even a multi-monitor setup, then you're in for a definite treat because you'll be able to just look around and tweak your software to meet your needs. Some of you are probably thinking, well, Oculus Rift is now able to be pre-ordered. You know, the first retail version of this thing is coming out. VR is making its way into the gaming industry finally. We've also got the HTC device in the works. What about those things? Why get a TrackIR? You could put money at those. Well, VR is interesting. I'm curious about it, and I imagine myself owning a VR device in the future, yes. But right now, I don't know that it's ready. I don't think I want to invest in first generation VR. I think they'll just get better in time. The field of views, the resolution, the refresh rates, all that stuff will just get much better in time. And I don't think that I want to throw $600+ out on a device that is perhaps not all that it could be. We'll see, though. Who knows? Right now, I think this is a pretty good solution, especially if you're happy with your current display setup. If you have a really nice gaming monitor and you don't want to switch over to some sort of VR device, then this is a fantastic way to go. I'm happy with it. I don't really think that there's much else that I can say about it. It works. It gets the job done, and it's very customizable. I guess if I had to really pull at something, then maybe the fact that the actual mount for the infrared camera is a bit flimsy, I would say. If you have a bezel-less display, you might have some trouble mounting it, as I did. And for those of you not familiar with bezel-less designs, basically with most monitors you have a plastic bezel around the actual LCD panel, like a frame, right? And this mount is more so designed to attach to that bezel or the frame. And so if you're bezel-less, usually you just have a lot more panel and a very thin piece of plastic that just keeps everything together. Now within the LCD or within the panel, you're going to have this natural black border or edge, and right now my TrackIR mount is just within that border, not touching any of the active display. So it's working with it. I managed to kind of bend the legs into a position that it would work, but I'm also having to use the cable notch on the back to kind of keep pressure towards the top of the camera so it doesn't fall backwards. So yeah, it feels a little delicate. I might consider maybe taking some double-sided 3M tape and putting that at the top of the display and just kind of, sticking the camera itself to the tape. That way it won't go anywhere. But right now it's working. It's been pretty stable. I don't know if I were to, knock into my desk or bang the desk or something with the chair, that it might fall back. It seems like it's pretty good right now. And if you have a normal, bezel on your display, you're probably fine. But I know my buddy Bismarck actually has a stack of books behind his laptop, and he's got the mount on the books. Apparently it's his entire collection of Game of Thrones novels. They have another use once you're done reading them. But yeah, as far as complaints are concerned, I think that one was pretty weak. That's all I've got. Maybe if you don't own a hat, you're out of luck. I think the base package, which is $149, comes with the standard reflector, which is meant to clip onto the front of like a baseball cap, the brim of the cap, or maybe if you're a classy pilot, you're wearing a fedora within your cockpit. It'll attach to something like that. But if you don't like hats, then you'll have to look at getting the Track Clip Pro, which is something that attaches to the side of your headset. You can either buy that separately or I think as part of a bundle if you can find one. But yeah, I've been using it with a baseball cap. Works fine. Easy to set up. Just watch out for like background reflections and lighting in your room, different things like that that can interfere with an IR signal. Within the TrackIR software, it has different screens that you can test those things. So you can check your reflectors and how they're positioned and how the IR camera is picking everything up. You can test your lighting. Works very well. It seems like they've thought of everything. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be about it for today. This really hasn't been an in-depth review of the TrackIR 5. I'm sure you can find videos out there that go into more detail. I know Bismarck made one some time ago as well. I'll have a link to that in the description below if you're curious. I think he uses it with IL-2 quite extensively. Also have some links to Joseph. He's a YouTuber that uses this with older games like Falcon 4.0 and Steel Beast and things like that. So you can check those guys out if you want to see more TrackIR usage. But for now, I think Elite Dangerous is going to be the game I'll play when using the TrackIR, at least until Star Citizen actually officially supports the product, which please, oh please. I know you've got other priorities, but oh man, this thing's just too cool for school. I can't wait to use it in that game. But that's it. Ladies and gents, thank you so much for joining me. Really hope you appreciated this look at Elite Dangerous and the TrackIR 5. Stay tuned for more, and I will definitely see you on the next one.